Hey guys. So how are you guys doing? This is my husband, Matthew.
Hotel, what's up, guys? How y'all doing?
We have been together 10.5 years, and originally why I'm doing this video is because I had did a TikTok video, a TikTok live, and in the live, basically we were going through like a little rough spot, and I was talking to people about it, and TikTok banned my live because it was, I guess, a little too juicy. And I had asked, me and my dad's TikTok followers, would you like us to post a video on me and my dad's TikTok, or would you like me to post it on me and my dad's YouTube, or would you like us to post it on a different YouTube? And you guys told me that I should post it here. So this is where I'm posting it. And it's basically just a Q&A. I've gathered some some questions that you guys have had, and we're just gonna start off. But do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I just want to say that your TikTok followers, they want the juice on our relationship.
But you're the reason why we got juice.
Yeah, but it's okay though. I just wanted to point that out that y'all want the juice, but it's all good. I hope y'all having a good day. Thanks for tuning in. That's all I want to say. And we're gonna be as open, as honest as possible with you guys.
I hope you're as honest as possible.
Appreciate the questions.
Just fucking with you. Okay, so question number 1: how did we meet? Do you want to talk about it, or you want me to just go ahead?
I want you to go in, but I'll just say this. We basically met at McDonald's. We both were working at McDonald's. I was a manager. She was a regular crew person. And just...
Regular crew? I was a regular...
Yeah, she was just regular crew person, taking orders, you know what I mean? Ringing people up, hi, welcome to McDonald's, how may I help you? I was kind of calling some shots,
What?
But
okay.
But
we'll
basically, I'm gonna let her tell the story because she tells it better than me. But I just want the record to reflect that I was the one who initiated first contact that led to this 10+ year beautiful relationship. I get all of the credit.
Anyways, so I was 17. I was working at McDonald's. He was a manager. He worked the morning shift. Okay, I worked the overnights. But eventually I ended up needing more money because I had my first apartment. I had a 1-year-old son, and I needed to make more money. So I started working doubles and triples. I ended up quitting high school. And one day I was walking to the back, and he walked past me, and he pushed me. And he goes, "Excuse you." And I just looked at him like, what the fuck, and I just walked to the back. I didn't even say anything.
Pause, interjection. Just to be clear, I wasn't assaulting her as pushing. It was mild,
a friendly push.
It was mild flirting, Yes. It was mild flirting. There's a phrase that people say, if she grins, she in.
He talks in terms and conditions, guys.
So what I was doing, I was testing the waters. If she was, she was cute. I had been seeing her around a little bit.
Cute or beautiful?
I wanted to, cute, beautiful, outstanding, breathtaking, moon in my sky, right? And so, what I wanted to approach her, but I had to break the ice first. And as lame as it may sound, that was my kindergarten approach to breaking ice.
And he was kindergarten approaching a lot of bitches in that motherfucker.
Yeah, well, I was single at the time. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I was seeing what was out there. I was living my life and having fun.
Now, I didn't know much about him, honestly. Like, when he did that, I had just started drifting off into his shifts because of the fact I was working doubles and triples. So, most of the time when I seen him, I had been working all night. And he did that for like 3 days straight. Just walked past me and barely pushed me. And then the 4th day, I was like, whatever. So I pushed him, and I was like, "Excuse you." But I did push him a little bit harder, I ain't gonna lie. And
that's when I knew I had her.
Anyway.
That's when I knew.
Anyways, so I'm at home one day, and I'm like, you know what? I really need to make extra money. I really need some money right now. So I called the job he was working, and I said, "Hey, Matt, do y'all need anybody to come in today?" And he was like, "No, we're kind of fully staffed." I was like, "Well, can you just write my number down and put it on the schedule? If anybody else needs somebody to come in, or anybody wants to go home, they can call me and I'll come up there." He goes, "Okay, for sure." I said, "And you can use my number for other things." And he embarrassed me. Okay, he said, "Oh, no, it's okay." And so I got off the phone feeling like, oh my God, I just hit on my boss. I have to see him in person. You know what I mean? Why did I do that? Maybe I took the signals the wrong way. He doesn't really like me. He wasn't flirting. But thankfully he called me that night. Later on, like a few hours later, he called me and we talked for almost 5 hours, and we had a really long, good conversation. So that's how it started. I will say this: whenever we really just hung out. We didn't do anything, and he didn't know my age at the time. I was 17. He was 27. We're 10 years apart. But I never lied about my age. You know, was honest with him. He did think I was older because I had my own apartment. You know, I had a 1-year-old son. I kind of had shit going for me, I guess. But anyways,
shit, I didn't even have a kid or my own apartment. I was living with my sister at the time. You know,
yeah, I was doing way better than you.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say way better, but yeah, you was a lot more self-sufficient. But like I just said, I spent some time in prison, so I was staying with my sister to help myself try to kind of get on my feet. But I wasn't trying to dismiss you when I told you I wouldn't really take your number. The thing was, since I was a shift manager, McDonald's has a policy about no fraternizing with people. Like a manager could date a manager, or a crew person could date a crew person, but managers weren't supposed to fraternize with like the crew people. It was just a rule. Now everybody
He didn't follow that rule. He did not follow that rule.
Everybody did it,
and I found that out later in our relationship.
You didn't either.
Yeah. One person.
Okay. Yeah. You didn't either.
One person, guys.
McDonald's was wide open. I'm not gonna put nobody's name.
But you know what? Around that time, I think everybody was messing with everybody.
Listen, man, don't think it was just us. We're not gonna put nobody else's names in.
But it was mostly him.
Because it's not their business, it's our business. But McDonald's was wide open, man. Everybody was just wilding out.
Yeah.
But I was just trying to be smart about it. I wasn't trying to lose my job, you know, flirting with her. It couldn't just be everybody's business that I was flirting with her because I technically wasn't supposed to. But I wasn't trying to blow her off because I told you guys I initiated the contact.
Yeah.
You know, so I just had to play it smart now that I knew, you know, she was into me.
Whatever.
Collar pop.
Whatever. Anyway, so we really didn't do anything. We actually just hung out together for a while.
Yeah.
And then one day I was, you know, just sitting next to him. And I said, you know, I think I'm ready to take the next step because, you know, a girl got needs. And I said, but I don't want you to fall in love with me because I'm not looking for a relationship. And he was like, good, I'm not either, you know. So we did what we did, and we
we just wanted to have fun.
Well, he fell in love with me.
Yeah, we just wanted to have fun.
I'm just fine. We fell in love with each other, and I think that's just kind of how it started, you know.
What you mean needs? You had like you wanted me to help you pay your light bill?
No,
What you talking about? You wanted me to pay your phone bill?
I had
what are you talking about?
I had some.
The people want to know.
I had some woman needs, and as well, yeah, I did have a light bill that was overdue. Yeah.
She wanted the D and the light bill, right? Okay, package deal.
Okay, so there's 2 questions here, but we're going to go ahead and start off with our age difference, which we already said was 10 years.
Yeah, I'm 10 years older than you.
Yeah, and I'm 10 years younger than you. People want to know, how did our families take it, like us being of different races, of different ages, and I'll let you start on that.
The race thing never really was a big issue with my family. I'm actually the youngest, right? I'm actually the youngest in my family, and there's a lot of interracial relationships in my family already, so that never was an issue. And even with the age difference, I'll be honest, no one in my family ever like directly to my face said that it was an issue. It's quite possible that maybe they had side conversations about it. But that would be in reference to I never really spoke about her until I actually got her pregnant. So when she got pregnant, that's when I started telling people, I was like, hey, I have a baby on the way, and this was going to be my first child, so everybody was excited for me.
And we got pregnant right away, but it was planned.
But because she was because she was younger, it was almost like, oh, are you sure this is what you want to do? You may not want to have a baby with somebody that you're not going to be with, you know, which is a legitimate concern. A lot of people have children and then a relationship don't work, and then it's a struggle. But I'll say on my end, they pretty much accepted her from the jump, and any reservations that they may have had, they never spoke to me directly about it, and they supported me. And my parents, I didn't want a child at the time when I met her. I didn't have any children, and I openly told my family I didn't want any children. So when my mother and father found out that I was having a child, they were actually excited because they was like, yeah, we need some grandchildren from you.
They were so
they were
excited.
happy. But What about you and your family?
Well, his dad's actually a preacher. Just to kind of, dig in a little bit what you were saying.
Yeah.
His dad's actually a preacher, and at the time we were having church at his house. And I remember that was the first time I met his dad was at, the church at his house. Mm-hmm. And he cooked for me. Remember, he would cook for me every Sunday. Yeah. He would make me all types of food. Yeah. Make sure I was like, just eating good with his grandbaby. And then I remember his mom came to the church as well. And when she came in, I remember she had a little notebook and she was sitting next to me and saying, "How old are you? What's your son's birthday? What's your birthday?" And she was like literally writing down everything on a notebook paper. And we just sat there and talked. And to this day, me and his mom are like really best friends. We talk every day. They're closer
than me, damn.
Yeah, like
they talk more than she talked to my mom more than I talked to my mom.
Yeah, so she's really an amazing person and stuff. But so I always felt accepted. As far as my family really, I was kind of doing my own thing, so nobody could tell me anything, Nobody really said anything as far as his race. There was really no issues, like my mom, nobody could really tell me anything because of the fact that I was kind of doing my own thing already. As far as age, when I told them the age, they were just like, "How old is he?" And they were like, "Oh, okay." But really, they couldn't say anything. But they really loved him from the jump. All my family, my grandma loves him. I have a really small family, but everybody really accepted him. There was no race issue. There was no, age issue or anything. I think we just had we were really lucky with that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We didn't have to deal with what a lot of people have to deal with within families, So I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah, and I also got the impression that because like I said, she did have a child, and I was even from the beginning, I was willing to help her out as much as I could with the child she already had. Like, honestly speaking, I never really treated him as if he wasn't mine. As soon as I got into a relationship with her, it was like, okay, if I'm in a relationship with you, I'm in a relationship with him as well. And yep. I always got the impression that because of how I was with him as well, their grandson, their nephew, whatever the relationship between her son and her family was, they were a lot more accepting of me as well, because they saw that I was willing to be a positive father figure in his life.
He actually was whenever I remember I was struggling one day, I had to go to work and I was like, I can't find a babysitter, I was really struggling. He was like, "Why are you stressing?" He was like, "I'm here. Just leave him here with me." And
we were living together.
Yeah, we were living together already, but I was just still not in that spot where I would just leave him.
I understand.
And but he was like, "Look, he reassured me. He was like, I have nephews. You know what I mean? I've helped raise all my nephews and nieces and stuff." He was like, "You can leave him here." I was like, "But he has to get his diaper changed." And he was like, "It's okay. I know how to deal with a kid." And from that moment forward, he basically just helped me raise him. And my son at first was really a mama's boy and stuff, but I think he really grew attached to him almost not right away, but almost really right away, almost right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, so this is kind of diving into a different subject, or maybe we should stick on. Let's stick to our subject, and then we'll dive in deeper to a different one.
Okay. Yeah.
So, how we did have some issues with cheating, and how did we stay together through all that? How did I stay together with him through all that? No, I'm just like.
Yeah, that's a good question. We did have a lot of bumpy roads. I'll say this. One of my biggest problems is, even when we got together and, she was pregnant, even when we had our daughter together, I wasn't willing to put my 100% all into a relationship, because I had trust issues of my own, and so I'll be honest, man, I messed up quite a bit along the way. Now, I don't think I was the only one who messed up along the way. But just being honest, one of the biggest things for me is, once we had a child together, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Once we had a child together, I wasn't planning on going anywhere. For one, I didn't want anybody else raising my child. I'll tell you that right now. So and I messed up more than she did, So I guess it would just be a matter of asking you, how did you deal with my foolishness?
I would say mostly, the biggest thing for me is I don't think that you should stay in a relationship after somebody cheats if you don't think that you can fully get over it and it's something y'all are going to argue about daily, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying what you've done in the past, I haven't mentioned later on in arguments and stuff, but if I were just to like remind you, like of course you got to gain trust back and everything, but if I'm just going to like every single day, let me see your phone, let me do that, I think then the relationship should be done. There's no fixing it, you know? But I think we really were able to work on it together and stuff. And I mean, there's some juicy shit, you know, a bitch being in our apartment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's some juicy shit that we could go into, but we could dive into it in a different video.
Yeah. But I wasn't doing anything.
It doesn't matter.
I just had a friend over.
Do you want to go into detail?
No, I'm just cleaning it up.
No,
it was a female friend. You know,
it was not a friend. House. This girl was in love with him, and I seen messages, and he knows that. And this girl was in love with him and was crying over him, and to me, that's not a friend. That's an emotional relationship that he was having. Period. And I don't care what you say about that. That's true. So.
More on that later.
Yeah, more on that later. And we're over it now, but I'm not gonna fake in front. I'm not gonna, and I'm not saying you are, but if we're gonna dive into it, we're gonna dive into it.
But I just want to clear the record. I wasn't doing anything. There's not somebody that I did anything.
The conversation was more than enough.
Yeah.
The conversation was more than enough.
I respect that. But they needed to hear that.
Yeah, you're right. But anyway, so I would say we just kind of.
But there were times that people told me that there were people at the house while I was at work, too.
And that's a lie. That's a complete lie.
Yeah.
He believes that to this day, but you know what?
You can always say it's a lie if you didn't get caught. Like if I wouldn't have got caught, I could have denied it until the end. But I will say seriously, that's not true. Yeah.
Like and that's something I will argue it to the death of me, because we were living in these apartments, right? And I do not advise being friends with a neighbor. I mean, we've always dealt with that. Man. I do not get close with your neighbor because there's always some drama. And I was just friends with this girl, and she had her own stuff going on, and her husband and her were inside and out of my apartment. And there was a lot of people that lived in those apartments. I was young, you know what I mean? I was 18?
Yeah, it was wide open.
I was only 18. I was about to be 19 years old. I was 18. You know, I'm young, immature. So, you know, I was just chilling outside, and the only time that he ever seen a guy almost in my apartment is whenever, I forgot what had happened because this is years ago, but I remember going in my apartment and this guy was like chasing me or something. I guess I had something. I can't remember. I was childish, okay? I was naive. I was.
And the truth shall set you free.
Shut up. So anyways, and I remember Matt getting home and him saying, like walking into the apartment or whatever and basically letting me know, like, I see you had somebody in here. But that's the only thing that I could even remotely think of anybody being in our apartment. But he swears to the death that's possible. But we're over it. It's just something we're talking about, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're over it.
We're over it, but it's just something we're talking about. But
yeah, us
trying to convince ourselves to the people.
So I don't want you guys to think that don't just throw me under the bus.
Yeah,
right?
No, we're not gonna do that.
It's been suspicious things on both sides.
And at one point,
we used to break up every single week.
Yes.
It would be times we would break up.
This is the beginning of our relationship.
I would literally pack all of my stuff like I'm going to leave.
And it would sit at the front door for weeks.
It'll sit at the front door for weeks, to the point to where when I be getting ready for work, I have to get ready for work in the living room, digging through my clothes that's sitting next to the front door. But I wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, I think it more or less, we were just both naive and childish. Like, yeah, we were 10 years apart, but, you know, you were in prison for a while. I was, you know, I acted older, but I was still younger too. And I think just, you know, me being a new mom, I have 2 kids, and I think we really just made a bunch of mistakes and stuff. So yeah, It's not just you, but also, you know, we both made some shit. I ain't gonna lie. But anyways. Yeah. Let's go into like how did we go about an open relationship? This is just diving in. Okay. Do you want me to start?
Let's just jump right. Yeah, you might as well because it was your idea. Yeah. This is just spoiler alert.
So originally, You know, I'm bisexual, like, you know, whatever. I never denied that to him. He knew that. And
I knew that from the beginning.
He never came out and was like, oh, like, you know, most guys or some guys, they're like, let's have a threesome. How do you feel about a threesome? Like, it was really me coming to him and just being like, you know, how do you feel about that? You know, and he was like,
how do you think?
But he didn't. No, he was excited, but you know what?
How do you think I feel?
He didn't act like that. He wasn't like, oh my god. He was just like, are you for real? Is this something? Like, he was like making sure everything was good because he didn't want no shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could have been because women, sometimes fellas, women, they it's like a test. Sometimes it's always a freaking test. They just want to see what you're gonna say so that they can, you know, hypothesize a situation. You answer to the theoretical situation wrong, and then you get the silent treatment for 3 days.
Well, me, you know, it could be longer.
Yeah, it has been, not could be, but yeah, let's get into how you brought this up to me.
Anyways, I just told him I wanted a threesome, and we basically did. I'm not gonna name names, like, you know, that's nobody's business.
Yeah.
But basically, you know, it was somebody that I felt like I trusted. It's somebody that he knew as well that he felt like he trusted, and it went awesome. It went really good, and that's never been an issue ever.
Yeah.
So later on, years later in our relationship, you know, we ended that little like kinky shit, you know, not now. Well, yeah, now, but not like in this way.
Yeah.
And so, you know, role playing and shit. And I think I was just kind of like really into it. And I was just like, well, how do you feel about like, you know, us having like an open relationship? And he really was like, yeah, like, cause he was like into the moment and stuff. And then we really talked about it, and we actually wanted to do it. Like we wanted to go about it and do it. But we had rules set.
Yeah, before you get to the rules, I just want to, because it just crossed my mind.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest. From the minute we had the threesome, right, it was always in the back of my mind. I was like, okay, we did this. What if that female is like, okay, since I did this with you and your guy, I want you to do this with me and my guy. And so in my mind, I was already like, man, once I agreed to that, I already opened up the door for more stuff on the opposite end.
Yeah.
And so I was always, man, it was always in the back of my mind that it was going to come to this. And I was thinking, like, you know, naturally, I would initially want to say no, right? But I would feel like a hypocrite. Like, if she know, every time we always argue, I always call up, well, not always, but a lot of times I'll pull like the hypocrite card. I'll be like, how can you do this and then say this about me? And so I'm always about, you know, the whole do unto others as you do unto me. And so I felt like once I opened up that door and then we had did that together, with the whole threesome, and you know, she allowed me to do what I did, you know, more on that later. I always felt like that ball was going to drop, that some form of open relationship ball was going to drop. And not only did we do the threesome once, we did it twice. It was like a double
times.
It was twice.
3 times.
No.
It was 3 times.
No. Wow.
No, it was one.
What's coming out, family? Twice with me and once with somebody else?
At the hotel.
Oh my goodness.
At
the
hotel,
apartment.
Twice at the apartment.
It wasn't twice at the apartment. That
Oh,
wasn't me.
time.
That wasn't me. Oh.
It wasn't me.
Oh
Cause
my.
you kissed it on it?
Yeah, OMG.
I thought it was 3 times. I must have been fantasizing.
No, or maybe something happened that we need to talk about later. Yeah, hey, look, next video, we're separated. No, but
one thing I can't say I love about me and his relationship is we've always been friends. Like, we've always been friends. So we might fuss and argue, but I really think that me and him, we're really good at communicating, and we can laugh about situations later. But he's always been the fuck up. Anyways, no, but you know, really, when I mentioned it to him, a part of me wanted him to be like, no, nobody can have you, like, you know what I mean? Like, a part of me wanted that, but another part of me wanted to kind of explore a little bit. But I think I was kind of up in the air, but I think I was in the moment because, you know, we had spent the weekend together, I think that weekend, and we were really like having a good time and stuff. And I really think it just kind of like I said it out of that. Not saying I didn't like want to do it, but I think a part of me wanted you to be like, no, like you're mine, you're all mine. Well, I would never want anybody else to have you, and you didn't do that. And I think it really did hurt my feelings. But another part of me was like, okay, well, I have an open door now, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we did have a set of rules, and basically the rules were like, you know, you can't like, you know, go down, you can't it can't be with like multiple different people, like separately, like
only one time.
Only one time. We don't have to tell each other. We don't want to know who it is. We don't want to know when it happened.
It can't be nobody close to us.
Yeah, somebody we know. So that was basically the rules, and there was no emotional relationship, and we had to be honest with the other person because we didn't want no bullshit of somebody hitting us up and stuff. So we basically just wanted it to be like, you know, you're honest with that person, and it's kind of good like that. So we had a really long conversation. We agreed on everything. But what I didn't know is how he was feeling because he didn't want to open that door, I guess, at the time, which I feel like he should have communicated with me. But I ended up finding out later when we went through our rough patch of what happened. But how, do you want to wait until I get to the rough patch to say how you were feeling, or do you want to talk about it now?
Yeah, we'll get into that. Let me just add on to this one topic real quick. And whenever we were talking about it, like I'm going to be honest with you guys, you know, and me and her, we've talked about all this stuff extensively, so we know how each other feel. But how can I say it? I'm just gonna say it. So when we did have the threesome, right? I've never done nothing like that before, and it was like I felt like a king type thing. It was like real like.
And I felt like a boss bitch,
you know. And so deep down, I wanted it to be on the table for maybe some more stuff like this to happen later. You understand what I'm saying? But it wasn't as in I would risk my relationship to make it happen. Like I wouldn't tell her, you know, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this.
But you know that nothing bad happened when we had the threesome. So it's like, why fuck up something that we both enjoyed?
Yeah. So kind of when you brought up the open relationship thing, a part of my answer, and just being honest, it was almost from like a selfish perspective too, because I was like, well, okay, I'm thinking about what doors would be open for me as well. And I'm gonna tell you guys something. I firmly believe this, man, with all of my heart. You can't stop a person from doing, and this is gonna segue into what you were just saying.
Yeah.
You can't stop a person from doing something that they want to do. You know, I think a lot of times relationships go off the rail because a person tries to be like super controlling and control the other person's life. If you feel like you have to control every aspect of someone's life, you might as well just leave them because you can't do it. And so when she said it to me, how my mind operates, I instantly thought either she had already done it, because, you know, like we already went over, I fucked up in the past. You know what I mean? And then we had our fights.
Which I did already do it, and that will get into that.
Yeah, and we had to make up. You know what I'm saying? But in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if she's bringing this up, she's already done it. Or she has somebody in mind that she wants to do it with, and it's to the point where it's going to happen. And she's just mentioning it to me, so she won't do it. Which isn't true,
but that's how he felt.
But that's how I'm going to think.
Yeah.
So she won't do it behind my back. So I have to contemplate something now.
And he didn't mention all this to me when we had that long conversation. Yeah, he was just saying, are you sure this is something, have you already done it? And I answered no.
Yeah.
But did I tell
you? Because at the time, and then this thing you got to realize too, I know a lot of y'all may be thinking, oh, Matt is, Matt a wild guy. But at the time, you was going through the mental.
So we'll talk. We can dive into that since we're in the juice. Yeah. But I was going through like some mental issues.
She was in a very bad spot. Man.
Yeah, which I've explained on my TikTok lives and stuff. I was going through a really bad anxiety and depression. And honestly, I'm not the one to fake in front anxiety and depression. I honestly didn't even know that's what I was suffering with. I thought I had like low blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
We were
emptying it up.
Yeah, I was at the hospital. I went to the hospital 5 different times. I was medicated for it, and come to find out it was severe anxiety and panic attacks. and I had no idea why I was feeling that because our life was great.
Exactly. So now think about the context of our life when she brings this up.
But not only that, in that moment, whenever I brought it up, whenever I was going through that, I don't know why, but I guess I had so much anxiety. I was like, maybe I need to get stuff off my chest. Well, a few years before that, he had cheated on me. And it really hurt me how it all happened, and we can get into that in another video. But he cheated on me, and it really hurt me because it was like a bit. He cheated on me bad, like it was a big cheat. You know what I mean? To me, it really was.
It was.
And so what I did is I was like, okay, fuck it. I knew this guy that I knew from Jack in the Box drive-thru or whatever, and I ended up sleeping with him twice. And so I just told him, I said, this is what happened. Because I felt like, I felt like if I needed to get stuff off my chest or whatnot. And so I think at that point you already knew when I brought up the threesome about that. Or did I bring that up later?
Well, we brought up the open relationship. And then it was like maybe a couple of days. Yeah, it was a couple of days later you told me about that.
Yeah, so and
maybe the next
day. I can understand his fucked upness of him thinking like, oh, after, and then whenever I told him, he was pissed off. Like, he was pissed, but he didn't explode because he knew I was going through shit mentally. And I was really upset when I told him. And he didn't treat me like shit. He just was like, are you serious? And he got up and, because I still apologize, even though I did it because he did something, which I'm not a tit for tat type of person, and I don't think either of us is. But at this point, I think we kind of were.
People are human.
Yeah,
man.
We're human.
People are human.
But whenever I did it, it was kind of like I don't even know if I want to be with him anymore. At that point in our relationship, when he did what he did, I was like, I'm gonna be here, but I don't even think we can, because it took us a long time to fix that. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Yeah. I don't even think that. And good thing is we don't argue in front of the kids. We're really good at kind of being able to talk and not yell. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing. So our relationship was on edge, but it wasn't on edge to the point where like our whole world was falling apart and the household was just crazy, But I was really hurt and I didn't think I would even want to be with him anymore. But I stayed because, I didn't want to just call it quits. We have kids together. I wanted to kind of see where it goes. And so, yeah, I chose to go and sleep with somebody. And I didn't tell him until, just recently. But anyways, we ended up talking about the open relationship, and he had his feelings about it that he didn't tell me. But we had a set of rules. And come to find out, he went and he slept with somebody because of the fact that he was pissed off at the fact that, I had did whatever. Well, in his mind, he felt like, okay, well, I should try to sleep with this person twice.
I don't need you speaking for me.
Oh, well, go ahead then.
I can speak for myself.
Go ahead. Let's see what you got to say, and hopefully it's the truth.
And so, so when she opened the door to the whole open relationship thing, and then you got to understand something. Shortly after that is when she admitted to the cheating several years prior. So now I didn't even respond. Like I was upset, but I didn't go off on her. I wasn't like, oh,
he knew I was going through a mental issue.
Bitch. I didn't go off on her, and I'm gonna tell you guys why. Because like I said, this is my wife. I love her. No matter what, nobody's perfect, and I know me myself. I know I'm not perfect, and I know the shit that she could have left me for, and she never did. But on top of that, like I say, we're gonna go into detail about it, but she was like crying to me every single day because she was going through this anxiety, and I was taking her to the hospital trying to figure out what was going on. And so when she admitted it to me, I had a choice to make. Like if I just fly off the handle and I go in on it, what if I push her over the edge? You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, okay.
It did push me over.
We
the
over
edge,
the,
arguing.
But I'm saying
it wasn't me and you. It wasn't what we were
my
going
reaction.
Through.
Yeah, I wasn't
he didn't
like
give me that reaction. But at that point,
no.
At that point, it didn't push me over the edge with that. But I think I told him, and I thought maybe that would help my anxiety because I've never dealt with anxiety like that, and I don't even know why. I don't have anxiety right now. Yeah. But I was going through.
It was just because you was keeping that from me, and the ancestors.
Whatever.
The universe wouldn't let her keep that secret from me.
But
what's done in the dark comes to the light.
But
like I was saying,
I gotta go to the restroom.
Yeah, good, because I need to talk.
Okay.
You keep cutting me off.
My bad.
And she'll be right back, so I'm gonna just keep it going. And so, I'm going to be honest. And she just hit me with something. And so, I'm going to be honest. So when she admitted that she had cheated on me, I was like, well, okay. It's only right if I go out there and I, cheat back, or if I find somebody. So that's just what I did. I started reaching out to people, texting them, inboxing them, or whatever. You know how people talk about now, like, oh, you be hitting people up in the DMs. But me as a married man, it wasn't like I was just, trying to creep on my wife and being in somebody's DMs. Yes, I was trying to find somebody to sleep with, but it was an extra caveat in the whole scenario, because we had already talked about an open relationship, and so now I'm convinced at this point that she's already done it, or she's about to do it, and so it's like, okay, I might as well do it too. And so I reached out to a few people, and I'm not the most, because I'm not the most handsome guy in the world. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm not just like no play. I don't just have females on deck. So I may reach out to somebody and they may be like, ew, hell no, man, get the hell out, leave me alone. I may reach out to somebody and they may be like, well, no,
Ew, hell no,
I don't want to do your wife like that. Your wife seems like a cool person.
And that did happen.
Yeah, your wife seems like a cool person.
And that did happen.
Your wife seems like a cool person. I don't want to do your wife like that. So I'm like, oh, but okay.
And I respect that.
I just, I went until I found somebody.
But the thing was, the reason why.
Some more coffee.
Okay, but the reason why I was upset at the fact that he actually did something, it wasn't the fact that he did it, but it was for the fact that he tried to do it twice, and he sent her money on Cash App twice, or more than that, and he, did stuff that he was not supposed to do. And I actually, how I found out is I was headed to Starbucks and somebody messaged me and said, let me tell you about your cheating ass husband. And me, I'm not thinking about the open relationship because I ain't did nothing. You know what I mean? And I'm not thinking about.
So she says.
Yeah. And so I'm not thinking about none of that. You know what I mean? And so I go to read the messages, and of course I thought about that when I was going through the messages, but me reading those messages and everything he was saying, like, broke me. I was like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah, somebody tried to do the people crazy.
but not just that, like sending money, that was fucked up.
Yeah, but okay, in that, yes, I'll admit. But it wasn't like, well, it's really no excuse.
And then he tried to do it twice. And then
I'm just gonna say, like the person was somewhat of a friend. I was just helping.
Is she a friend now?
No. I was just helping a person out. It ain't like I was paying nobody's bills. I had a
helping somebody out. But you want to know
like
something?
That.
You could have been going to buy me flowers. You could have been doing stuff for me. Fuck anything that bitch needs, because that wasn't the agreement. And the agreement was you be honest. You were never honest with her or nothing like that. I basically felt like I looked like a dumbass on the sidelines, and I told you the biggest thing was to be honest. Was to tell them, look, we have an open relationship. This is what but you weren't doing that. You were
good point. Now remember the chain of events, family. We made the rules. Then she admitted that she had cheated on me years prior. So yeah, the rules still stay in place, but we talked about the open relationship. Then you admitted how you cheated on me. So now my mind is in a slightly different space than it
doesn't give them the right, but
when we made the no, it doesn't give me the right. But I'm just explaining. Like, it wasn't just because I was just a piece of shit. It's like, okay, you just told me you cheated with this guy. Then you went back and cheated with the guy a second time. So yeah, of course.
But you want to know something? This is the whole reason. Like, a lot of people were wondering, like, why did y'all get back together? This is why we got back together. You can kind of see our thought process here, and really, it's like nothing I want to leave him over. I don't really see myself leaving him over that, and that's just because I think the door was open, and I don't think anybody can say we've been together 60 something years. And we've never had any issues. And I think that me and you have done a good job at communicating, regardless if we had issues when we weren't communicating. But I do think it's fixable. I do think that, that it's something that we can work on. And it's not affecting our daily lives. After we talked about it and we both were open about what happened, I think we both made mistakes. And who am I to, he's wonderful to the kids, to me. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I would take him back, because right now, no, we do not have an open relationship. That was another question. We do not have.
We don't?
Bitch! I was like, wait, hold on.
I'd be like, hold hold on, let me get my phone. Delete. Nah, I'm bullshit.
But we did talk about it, and we were like, you know what? Let's just start over, and let's just focus on us. And if anything does happen
from this point on, like anything that happened before now,
we're just
we wipe the slate clean.
Yeah, and we're both okay with that. It's not something that like he didn't convince me to accept it. I'm not convincing him to accept what I did. I think we both just really love each other, and we're really good friends, and we love our life together. We we have kids, and our kids have a good life together and stuff. And it's just not something we want to split up. Like, why split it up if we're still in love with each other?
And we've been trying to break up since we got together.
No, it's not been like that, guys.
Yes, it has. Like, not every day. That's not what I'm saying. Not every day. But like I told you guys, we've been trying to break up since the very beginning.
He really has always been my number one.
But at the end of the day, even when we're having our bad times, it's like I don't know, man. The bond that we
miss
have,
each other.
It's so special.
But we never
that we never are willing to leave each other hanging.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one time. Remember we was ready to break up. You left. And even though you left, I was still taking care of Poppy.
Mm-hmm. This was at the beginning of our relationship. I ended up leaving for a couple days because I was really pissed off at something he did.
Yeah,
he didn't. I mean, he was taking care of my son and everything, and
dropping him off with your grandma.
Because he was stepdad at that point. But not only that, I think even in when we did split up for 3 months and we took a break, we still had each other's back. If he needed money, I'd give him money.
Yep.
If I needed, and we didn't conversate. It wasn't like, here you go, we missed each other. No, it wasn't conversating about our relationship. It was literally, here's the money, that's it. Mm-hmm. And then also, because he had felonies, he was like, hey, I need an apartment. And I was like, I'll help you get an apartment. Like, and everything. Like, we were willing to help each other. We were still friends.
And willing to get the apartment in her name so I could move out of my dad's house.
And have his daughter with him, because it's our daughter. But at the end of the day, he's a wonderful dad. I would never take that from him. If he ended up having his own apartment, I hope that he can have the kids 50% of the time. Shit. Mm-hmm. But...
Yeah, so I honestly, I don't really see us, I see us being together forever. I don't see us breaking up. Yeah, we because the things we've already been through, if that didn't break us up, I don't really see what
But I think this fresh slate will really tell all, you know what I mean? Because there's nothing there should be nothing. If there is anything that happens, then really I do think I would be done, because I would think like, wow, like this is something that we really started anew. Like, we're not young, we're not immature. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We've kind of had our fun. We've talked about it, and who knows what the future holds on what we determine we want to do in the future. But I really think that at this moment we have a good thing going, and I really don't see either one of us fucking it up. Like, I see it going good, and
how many chances does a person want?
I think at that point it would just become like, I'm not, like, it's just too much at that point, But yeah, I mean, he's not perfect, but I can say this much: he's perfect to me when it comes down to like being a great husband.
Yeah, and he treats me good. She's not perfect, but she's perfect to me. She's a great mother. She's a great mother, you know what I mean? And just like we have a wonderful life, man, and
I am happy with you.
Like I say, and the beauty of it is we've gone through stages with each other. Like, all this stuff that we're talking about, it may be some people out there with relationships that have never even delved into some of this stuff or been through some of this stuff that we're talking about, but that's you. That's your life. This is our life,
But we're talking about a lot of times us arguing or us going through stuff, but really we don't argue. Like, we do not. It's, if we argue, it's like, it's really nothing. I don't even really see any argument.
We don't have big fights no more.
We really don't. And this is just, we're just talking about all the bad stuff, but really, guys, we don't fight. And I don't even think I could be in a relationship like that. Like, if we just fought all the time. You know what I mean? When he said that we always try to break up with each other, he's talking about this is over a span of almost 11 years and just all the troubles that we had. And every time we want to break up, we just could never. The longest we've ever been apart is 3 months. And even then, I think that we realized how much, we needed each other.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, like, the and you guys can attest to this. The more you love someone, the more emotional you get at things that happen. So let's say it could be like, of course I get mad. of course she gets mad. But I used to tell her this all the time when we first got together. I used to tell her that you're human. You have emotions. You can't stop yourself from getting mad and upset. But the one thing that you can't control is how long you're mad and upset. You always have control over that.
That's true, because when I used to get mad, I would get mad for 2 weeks.
Oh my
2 weeks.
God.
I wouldn't even talk to him for 2 weeks.
Yes.
And so
we're living together.
I really, but with him, what his problem was is he would not, and this is why we've done better at communicating, he would not open up. So if he felt something emotionally, he would not tell me about it. Like, he would talk to me emotionally and tell me like how he was feeling, but he wouldn't go, dive real deep into his emotions. And I think that he's gotten better at that. And I've just learned to not just drag it out for no apparent reason when, he's apologized over and over. And it could be for something simple. I used to get mad over simple shit sometimes. And I would be mad for 2 weeks straight. Like the silent treatment.
Literally. That's no exaggeration.
And I would never apologize for shit. But I think I've gotten a lot better.
You would force me to apologize.
But did you apologize?
Yeah, I always apologize. Happy
but
wife,
I'm better at that.
Happy wife, happy life, But yeah, we belabored the point on that one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what? Let's go to. How do you deal with your with my dad's disability? How do you deal with his disability?
To be honest with you, is not really an issue. Yeah, I notice it. But I've had like some real deep conversations with him, like with nobody else around, and I've sat there and I've talked to him, and I actually have a brother that suffers from basically the exact same thing. He's in prison right now. He's doing 12 years, because
which isn't fair.
He ended up hurting somebody, but the situations of it, he was well within his rights. But I have a brother that suffers from kind of the same thing, so I can understand
and
how
he was real close with his brother.
Yeah, I grew up with him, so I knew him. And when he got his hands on whatever he got his hands on that made that switch in his mind, I know how he was juxtaposed to how he is now. So I have a direct connection to that. And so when I'm dealing with her dad, I can understand from that perspective. And I'm gonna tell you something. I don't even know if I even told you this, but I've talked to him before, and he's told me stuff like, he'd be like, man, he knows that he's not where he was when he was growing up. And he used to always tell me, he used to be like, man, he know that because of how he is, he notices how some people treat him. And he was expressing to me how it makes him feel sad, because it's like he's still human, he's still here, he still understands, he's not dumb, and he see how people respond when he may come around. And he told me how much he appreciated how I didn't treat him different because of that, because I always respected him as my wife's father. You understand what I'm saying? No matter what he was going through in life. Like, I know she's told you his story, so I don't feel like I'm saying nothing out of line, but how he may have been standing in an abandoned building or something like that. And when I would come across him, I wouldn't treat him like somebody that's standing in an abandoned building and somebody that's, that's finding it difficult to take care of their responsibilities as a father. Whenever I see him, what's up, Big Herm? I would still give him that respect as my wife's father. He
actually gave my dad that name, Big Herm.
You feel me? I'm glad you admitted that. And as my children's grandfather. And so when he told me that, I'm telling you, like, early on, when he looked me in my eyes and he told me how much he appreciated that I could see him. That's what he was saying. He was like, man, I can tell that you see me. And he thanked me for that. And so I know that the problems that he have, he can't help it. But he's still a human. He's still there. He's still loving. He's kind.
Best.
He's caring.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And so his disability, his mental illness, it really isn't a problem for me, because he's an amazing granddad. He's an amazing stepdad. He's amazing, man. I love your dad, to tell you the truth.
Okay, so how do you get jealous of my dad? Like all the time like all the time that I take out to deal with everything, or just hang out with him and stuff?
I'm gonna say this. No, absolutely not, man. Never. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I have a real strong bond with my dad. I was the kind of person, I grew up with a strong relationship with my mother and my father my whole life. I can call my dad for anything right now, and if it's within his power, bam, I got it. No questions asked. You understand what I'm saying? And so I know how your father's mental illness at times it's caused a wedge between you guys. And so I love to see you spending time with him, you making those videos with him, you being there for him, letting him know that he still has that bond with his daughter. Yeah, because think about it, man. What man would not want his wife to have a relationship with her father? That's crazy. The only way I would have a problem with my wife's relationship with her father is if her father was like abusive physically or mentally or something like that. If it was an unhealthy relationship, then yeah, as a man, I have to not only try to protect my wife, but I would also try to protect my children. But since it's such a strong bond and it's a healthy relationship for you and him, hell no, I wouldn't get jealous. I encourage it. I like when you spend time with him, because you gotta understand something, man. It's gonna come a time when your parents, your grandparents, they're not gonna be here anymore. And when they're not here anymore, you're gonna wish you spent more time with them. And so I don't get jealous at all, man. I'm happy that you're able to have that type of a bond with your father, because I have a bond with my father, and there's nothing you could tell me that could make me turn my back on my dad. So I'm not gonna try to make you turn your back on your father.
Yeah. Thank you, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you. So the last question is, what do we do for a living? So I'll go first. I used to be a print and marketing supervisor for Staples, but unfortunately, my grandmother used to babysit our kids, and she ended up having to have emergency surgery, and she couldn't watch them anymore. So I had to quit abruptly. He's the word geek over here, so he helps me.
I'm the bookworm.
But
she always calls me a loser.
He's lame. I'm just playing. But anyway, so yeah, I had to leave that job that I really loved, and I had to do it very quickly. And I've been a stay-at-home mom. I'm hoping to start school in the summertime. I do also sell my husband's books to make money on the side. He is a self-published author, and that's I'm a homemaker, so that's basically what I do. And I guess I'm not that interesting, so.
Nah, yes you are. That's dealing with our children, dealing with this house, and dealing with me too. Sometimes I'm like a whole nother child in here. I'll be laying in the bed, make me some coffee.
But he does help, though. I can say that. He does help. He'll be washing dishes. He'll help clean up.
Give me some clothes to wear.
If I tell him, babe, I just feel like I have so much and nothing, he'll get up and he'll help me clean. So it is a good effort that you put into.
And me, I just deal with, as of right now, not to go too long on the question, but right now I actually work in a warehouse. I'm a forklift operator. I drive a forklift. So basically, I work overnight. So pretty much all night, I'm unloading trailers. I don't really load any of the trailers, but I prepare the orders that are gonna go out on the trailers in the next morning, the next day. And basically, the trailers that were unloaded in the morning, when I get there at night, I may take those products and put them back up. So it's really not nothing, too intense. I'm just on the forklift all night.
But it's still a job, and it's still working.
Moving product around. Yeah, oh yeah. It's paying. It's paying the bills. We gotta pay bills. And like she said, also I write books. I have a passion for writing books, and I'm always trying to market, promote my books, sell my books. She helps me market and promote the books. They do bring in an extra source of revenue here and there. We sell some books here and there, get a little extra money to help pay for things around the house. while I'm on the subject,
This one's my favorite.
Shameless plug, right? Yeah, this is quite. This is without a doubt. This is like my best-selling one. Suicide Note. More on this later. I actually wrote this while I was in prison. When we was talking about that, I actually wrote this while I was in prison. So Suicide Note, that's my best one. If anybody wanted, you guys can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Walmart.com. You can order it on a lot of different websites.
But if you're interested, you can comment or DM me on TikTok, and I will. You can purchase it from me directly or whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, and we can actually send out signed copies. We do sell them personally. Just reach out to us.
And we could put the link in the comments too, right?
Yeah, well, I'll put it in the comments and in the descriptions on the YouTube video. I'll put it in the descriptions. This is the second book that I published and released. It's called Thicker Than Water. It's sold on all of the same platforms. We actually sell them too, and it's an ebook version. My books are an ebook version as well. This one, I wrote this one in prison as well. As we talk, if any of you guys ask questions, that's how I spent a lot of my time, as opposed to getting further into my negative lifestyle while I was in prison. I tried to incorporate my time to better my life. So I wrote this one as well. So we be selling this one. And finally, my third work that I have out is called Big Game Hunting. I'm really involved in activism in my hometown. And I'm real hard on corrupt police, corrupt politicians, corrupt health department, anything corrupt. I'm on their head. I'm at their neck. So this is kind of like an autobiographical work where I'm describing how me and my brother, my wife, and a couple of other solid people in our area, how we took on the corrupt police department, took on corrupt city officials, got several people fired, and it's just a real life story about how we did that.
And my little cousin, just a quick off subject, actually did all 3 artworks of that book. All 3 covers are done by my little cousin.
Oh yeah. The cover work. The cover work was done by her cousin. We kept it in the family. Since I was going to get these books published.
And he actually has this tattooed on his back. Random, I know again.
Yeah, this is actually from a tattoo on my back that I got him to convert into a book cover for me. So yeah, if you guys want to purchase any one of those books or go look them up online and read the descriptions of them, I'll put the synopsis in the description of this video as well. You can order one of those if you want to support, if you like to read.
And right now he's actually working on a horror novel, but he won't tell me what it's about. But I'm super excited for that because it's something that's completely different than what he's done. Yeah. And he's really good at plot twists, so I think that makes really good for a horror movie, film, or book, or whatever the case may be. I think plot twists are really a must. So
yeah. Oh, and this one is gonna be like a horror story, like that's never been done before. I'll just say it like that. It's never been done before.
And he really is a good author, guys. Not just saying that because that's my husband. He has really good reviews on his book, and I really hope you guys give it a read. It'll really help out and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess that's about it for the video. If y'all have any questions that y'all want to ask us, you can ask them in the comments, and we'll do another video if you guys are interested. I do hope to have another video coming soon with questions that people have for my dad, and sitting down with my dad and actually talking to him a little bit more. But I just have to see what he feels comfortable with and everything like that. So also we have a little some snacks and candy that came from the UK that I also wanted to try, but I wanted the kids to get in on it too, and my dad and my husband and stuff. So more content coming soon.
All right. Yeah.
But I hope you guys have an amazing evening. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching
our first YouTube video. But yeah, bye.
All right. Peace.